Hello and welcome. We are live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India committed to combating piracy, terrorism in Indian Ocean region, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi after Bulgarian President thanked him for Indian Navy rescuing his country's ship and crew. India's Defence Minister speaks with his US counterpart, discuss progress on the roadmap for India-U.S. defence cooperation. Two nations kick off tri-services exercise to boost capabilities for humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations. Campaigning for India's general elections gather momentum. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds roadshow in Kerala to hold public meeting in Tamil Nadu. Congress Working Committee discusses party's manifesto. Israel's interagency team to visit the US to discuss Rafah, even as Netanyahu reaffirms his determination to launch an offensive during a call with Biden. European Union agrees on sanctions on Hamas, violent West Bank settlers. After a month-long exposition in Thailand, relics of Buddha to return to Delhi with full state honours on Tuesday. Large number of devotees offer prayers to the relics in Thailand. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday said India is committed to protecting freedom of navigation and combating piracy and terrorism in the Indian Ocean region after Bulgarian President Rumen Radev thanked him for the Indian Navy rescuing the country's ship and crew. In a tweet, he said, and I quote him, "Appreciate your message, President of Bulgaria. We are happy that 7 Bulgarian nationals are safe and will be returning home soon. India is committed to protecting freedom of navigation and combating piracy and terrorism in the Indian Ocean region." Unquote. Earlier, Bulgarian President Rumen Radev thanked Indian PM Modi for rescuing, saying, "My sincere gratitude to PM Narendra Modi for the brave action of Navy rescuing the hijacked Bulgarian ship Ruin and its crew, including 7 Bulgarian citizens." And the Indian Navy on Sunday released a video showing rescue operation carried out on Saturday. During the operation, the Indian Naval Forces, including special commandos, seized a cargo vessel, rescuing 17 crew members, while all the 35 pirates surrendered. The Navy spokesperson said maritime operations by India reflect their commitment towards reinforcing peace and stability in the region. All right, moving on to our next story now. With an aim to boost defence cooperation, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh held a telephonic conversation with US Secretary of Defence Lloyd Austin. Both ministers briefly discussed a range of bilateral, regional security and defence cooperation issues. The US Secretary of Defence appreciated the important role being played by the Indian Navy in conducting anti-piracy operations in the Indian Ocean region. The two ministers discussed ways and means to implement the India-U.S. defence cooperation roadmap, which was concluded last year. Both the leaders also reviewed the recent bilateral events such as Indus-X Summit held in New Delhi in February 2024 and the bilateral tri-service exercise Tiger Triumph, which has also commenced in India on March 18. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Lloyd Austin had last met in New Delhi in November 2023 during the India-U.S. Ministerial 2+2 dialogue. Moving further, amid the telephonic conversation between India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and US Secretary of Defence Lloyd Austin, focusing on strengthening defence ties between the two countries, Indian Navy extended a warm welcome to US Somerset of the US Navy to Visakhapatnam for exercise Tiger Triumph 24. The ship will be participating in the Tri-Services India-USA Amphibious Exercise X Tiger Triumph 24 under the aegis of Eastern Naval Command. The exercise is aimed to further enhance interoperability and work towards a multinational model for missions in the Indian Ocean regions. Now let's get to the latest on what's happening at home in India as a build-up to the world's largest democratic general elections. The Bharatiya Janata Party on Monday convened core committee meetings at the party headquarters to deliberate on potential candidates for various states for the upcoming general elections. The states of Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, West Bengal, Haryana, Odisha, Sikkim, Maharashtra and Gujarat were discussed in the meeting. BJP National President JP Nadda chaired the meeting, while Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Party National General Secretary BL Santosh were present in the meeting. And the Congress Working Committee meeting is underway in New Delhi. The top item on the agenda is to approve party's manifesto for the upcoming elections. The Central Election Committee is expected to clear the candidate list for the first phase of the poll scheduled on April 19th. Now, the Bharatiya Janata Party on Tuesday clinched a seat-sharing deal with the Patali Makal Kachi or PMK in southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu for the April 19 Lok Sabha polls, allotting 10 seats to the regional party. BJP State President K. Annamalai and PMK founder Anbumani Ramadas signed the pact after a meeting this morning. PMK on Monday entered an alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party in Tamil Nadu and will be part of the National Democratic Alliance in the upcoming general election polls. Now, Indian diaspora in Silicon Valley, California performed Havan in Fremont Hindu Temple to pray for the victory of India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the general elections. Organized by the Overseas Friends of BJP, the Havan was attended by a large number of people. The community came together to pray for a decisive victory for the ruling BJP under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the upcoming parliamentary elections, echoing the popular sentiment of Ab Ki Baar 400 Par. And the campaigning is gaining momentum for the forthcoming general elections as leaders of various political parties have started holding rallies and public meetings to woo the voters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's South outreach continues, held a roadshow in Kerala's Palakkad. Prime Minister received a rousing welcome from the large number of people. PM Modi will later address the public meeting at Salem to support BJP candidates in the upcoming Lok Sabha 2024 elections. As campaigning intensifies, political leaders are now gearing up to woo the masses, and the voters are preparing to send the best representatives to the House. Let's take a look at the issues that will play in the minds of the masses when they press the magic button.
As India gears up for general elections, political parties are also ready with the list of issues they wish to go to the voters with. The political war of 2024 will essentially be fought in many small battles throughout the nation, with each battle having its own set of issues and strategies. However, on a larger canvas, the fight for a majority in the lower house will be between the two big alliances: the National Democratic Alliance, comprising the BJP and its allies, and Indi Alliance, or the Indian National Development Inclusive Alliance. It is an alliance of over 20 political parties, including the Indian National Congress. While the two major parties, that is the BJP and the Congress, will be in direct fight in many states, the alliance partners will square off against each other in most parts of the nation. Both the camps seem to be ready with their own strategy of wooing the voters. The incumbent BJP-led NDA will focus on the work done by the Narendra Modi government in the past 10 years. While the opposition will try and strike a chord with issues like inflation, unemployment, etc. There are some issues that will dominate the campaigning in weeks to come. The NDA led by the BJP has focused on 10 years of uninterrupted public welfare. BJP is ready with a long list of accomplishments that the party thinks will catapult it to the third straight victory. A critical pillar of BJP's economic program consists of new welfareism, in which the government has ramped up investments in the public distribution of private goods such as gas cylinders, toilets, bank accounts and electricity connections. Flagship welfare programs for the poor. The Modi Guarantee has been a key campaign slogan for the BJP.
The India Alliance ran a mass outreach program led by the Indian National Congress ahead of the upcoming general elections. The Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra began from the northeastern state of Manipur to end in the western Indian city of Mumbai. It aimed to raise the pitch for social, economical, political justice for the people of India.
While Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has urged Delhi residents to vote for Indi bloc for stronger representation in Parliament, promising inflated water bills will be waived within 15 days. The BJP is fighting opposition, which apart from India Alliance also includes regional satraps. The biggest state in terms of seats is UP or Uttar Pradesh, and here the fight is multi-cornered. BJP, India Alliance and BSP are the main players on the political pitch. Apart from this, there are pockets of political activity where the BJP will be in direct contest with many state parties that are fighting independently and have a powerful base with the voters. In West Bengal, BJP will be against the Trinamool Congress led by Mamata Banerjee. Increased GDP growth, construction of the Ram temple in the holy city of Ayodhya, passage of Women's Reservation Bill, successful moon landing by Chandrayaan 3 are some of the highlights that the government will go to the masses with. The issues, both national and regional, are dynamic, and the political map of India will see many more issues which will pitch the parties against each other. Whichever party wins majority, democracy will once again emerge as the clear winner. Bureau Report, DD India.
And concluding a historic and spiritually enriching exposition in Thailand, the holy relics of Lord Buddha and his two disciples to be escorted back to their respective homes. On the last day of exposition of sacred relics, Ambassador Nagesh Singh, with Thailand's Minister of Culture, Samsak, highlighted significance of renewing spiritual bond between India and Thailand to realize Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of leveraging eternal consciousness of Dhamma for ushering century of Asia. Both conveyed deep appreciation, enabling millions of pilgrims from different parts of Thailand and its neighboring countries in Mekong region to pay obeisance to the holy relics from India. On the last day of the exposition of sacred relics in Karbi, thousands of devotees continue to visit Wat Mathat to pay respects to the sacred relics of Lord Buddha and disciples Arahant Sariput and Arahant Maha Moggallana. Now let's take a look at the high level of synergy and liaison between civil agencies such as National Highways Authority of India, District Administration, State Police and the Indian Air Force. A trial was conducted by Indian Air Force for the emergency landing of aircraft in southern state of Andhra Pradesh. Let's take a look at other stories making news across India. India's Central Reserve Police Force is celebrating its Raising Day on Tuesday. It comes under Home Affairs Ministry of Indian Government. Coming into existence in 1939, it became the Central Reserve Police Force on the enactment of the CRPF Act on 28 December 1949. Indian Army has achieved yet another milestone with a patent granted for the innovation portable multi-target detonation device. The device is developed by Major Raj Prasad RS of the Corps of Engineers. The Indian Army said that this innovation enables troops to undertake demolition at long range with increased safety and several advanced features, and it has been inducted in the Indian Army. Luxury and vintage cars, motorcycles were at display at the Surat International Auto Expo 2024 that ended on Monday. The commercial vehicle giants including Tata Motors and Ashok Leyland displayed their range of vehicles. Moreover, an array of national and international brands also participated in the four-day event. All right, we'll slip into a very short break, but still to come on DD India Live. United States has confirmed the killing of number 3 leader within Hamas ranks in an Israeli operation. US and Philippines to hold bilateral talks reviewing economy and security situations affecting them. And the Bank of Japan ended 8 years of negative interest rates and other remnants of its unorthodox policy on Tuesday.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Update now on Israel-Hamas conflict. Israel will send an intra-agency team to Washington to discuss a potential military operation in Gaza's southern city of Rafah. The decision was conveyed by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the U.S. President Joe Biden over a call on Monday. The two leaders also talked about the efforts to increase aid to Gaza.
We discussed the latest developments in the war, including Israel's commitment to achieving all of the war's goals, eliminating Hamas, freeing all of our hostages, and ensuring that Gaza will no longer pose a threat to Israel, while providing the necessary humanitarian aid that will assist in achieving these goals.
And the call was the first between the two leaders since February 15 and comes amid sharp tensions between Israel and its most steadfast ally over Netanyahu's handling of the conflict in Gaza that followed Hamas' deadly October 7 attack inside Israel.
The President told the Prime Minister again today that we share the goal of defeating Hamas, but we just believe you need a coherent and sustainable strategy to make that happen.
The United States has confirmed the killing of senior Hamas leader Marwan Issa in an Israeli operation. The White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan in a media briefing said that Marwan Issa, the number 3 leader within Hamas ranks, was killed in an Israeli operation last week. Hamas has not officially commented on report of his killing so far. And after weeks of disagreements, the European Union has reached a political agreement to sanction Hamas and violent West Bank settlers. The decision marked the first time that the EU's 27 member countries had agreed to sanction violent Israeli settlers, following in the footsteps of the US and the UK.
We discussed about the sanctions on Hamas, and we agreed also on sanctions to extremist settlers. It was not possible last Foreign Affairs Council. This time has been possible. A solid compromise has been agreed at the working level, and I hope that this will be continue until full adoption soon. But the political agreement is there.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un oversaw firing drills by artillery units in the western region involving super large multiple rocket launchers. Drills were aimed at testing the real war capabilities of 600mm multiple rocket launchers and improving the operators' combat morale and readiness posture. DD India's Chris Gilbert reports from Tokyo.
Yeah, it's fairly predictable, the pattern that we've seen over the last couple of years. In 2022, we of course saw a repeated pattern of military drills and missile launches which spiraled and escalated into both sides scrambling jets, military incursions into disputed zones where neither country is entirely sure where the DMZ starts and stops. So it is a fairly, you could say, typical response. It's also, North Korea has been demonstrating quite a lot recently, specifically their ability to counter any, perceived provocations or threats from South Korea. Over the last couple of years, we've seen their long-range missiles tested. They are not really in the habit of launching those at the moment. Of course, every launch is very expensive for them. But particularly since South Korea began disassembling, de-escalating security pacts that have stood since 2018, which was then responded with a complete abandoning of those pacts by North Korea, we certainly have seen a concentration from Pyongyang on their own immediate surroundings and the threats that they perceive coming from the south.
And U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is visiting Philippines to hold talks with Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos. Philippines Foreign Secretary Enrique Manalo thanked visiting U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken at a joint press conference for his country's support with regards to recent incidents in the South China Sea. Manalo said the challenge ahead was how to sustain and further elevate relations between his country and long-term ally, the United States. Blinken said both U.S. and Philippines have shared concerns with China's actions that threaten our common vision for a free and open Indo-Pacific. He added waterways are critical to the interests of the region, the United States and the world. Blinken's visit comes ahead of a trilateral meeting in Washington next month between U.S. President Joe Biden, Marcos and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. This is Blinken's second visit to Manila since President Marcos took office in June 2022. And voters in 5 U.S. states are voting this Tuesday to choose who they want leading the Democratic and Republican parties in November's presidential election. It comes a week after President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump reached the required number of delegates to become their party's nominees. Daily India's Nick Harper reports from Washington.
Well, the Democratic and Republican primaries will see voters in Arizona, Florida, Illinois, Kansas and Ohio go to the polls on Tuesday. No big surprises are expected, with both Joe Biden predicted to easily win the Democratic contests and Donald Trump expected to easily win the Republican ones. They are now the only real contenders in both races. And last week, they both clinched their respective parties' nominations after winning enough delegates. Since the start of primary season in the middle of January, different states have been voting, choosing the candidate that they want, leading the parties in November's election. This Tuesday, of the 5 states, Arizona will be the one to watch. Biden won the state back in the 2020 presidential election, becoming the first Democrat in nearly 25 years to win the Southwest state. Turnout and results could provide some indication which way the state is leaning ahead of November's election. However, with the Biden-Trump rematch looming, opinion polls continue to show it's a rematch that most voters don't want. Some Americans think that Biden, at the age of 81, is too old to run for re-election, while others think Trump's legal troubles and his upcoming criminal trials should disqualify him from having another shot at the White House. Nick Harper in Washington, reporting for DD India.
On to business now. The Bank of Japan ended 8 years of negative interest rates and other remnants of its unorthodox policy on Tuesday. The Bank of Japan increased its key interest rate from 0.1% to a range of 0% to 0.1%. It comes as wages have jumped after consumer prices rose. While the move will be Japan's first interest rate hike in 17 years, it still keeps rates stuck around zero as a fragile economic recovery forces the central bank to go slow in any further rise in borrowing cost. In a widely expected decision, the BOJ ditched a policy put in place since 2016 that applied a 0.1% charge on some excess reserves financial institutions parked with the central bank. Now let's take a look at other stories making news across the globe. For promoting the practice of rainwater harvesting, its management and use to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, Regional conference on rainwater harvesting and management is being held in Kathmandu, where countries of South Asia have gathered to share interdisciplinary exchange of best practices, research, innovation and policy intervention required in the region. The two-day conference aimed to seek solutions to the increasing water crisis and damages due to excessive rainfall. Britain's Royal Mint launches new Star Wars Millennium Falcon's coin. The Starship is the first in the new 4-coin series dedicated to the Star Wars franchise's iconic vehicles. The Royal Mint to also launch its first billion bars inspired by the Star Wars galaxy in time for Star Wars Day on May 4th. Banksy, the London-based street artist whose identity is unknown, confirmed that an artwork that appeared in a park in London is his creation. Banksy confirmed through a social media post where he uploaded pictures of the mural. It shows green paint sprayed on a wall behind a cutback tree to look like foliage, with a stencil of a person holding a sprayer next to it. Alright, we now take you to Paraguay. The CONMEBOL reopened its South American Soccer Museum on Monday. The new museum is dedicated to the history of the sport in the region, with main attraction being set of statues of soccer superstars Diego Armando Maradona, Pele and Lionel Messi. Well, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.